It's not far from where I'm standing right now that Frans Milan created the very first South African bubbly. That was back in 1971. Fast forward 12 years, the Grier family started making Cap Classique wines, which today are seen as some of the very best wines in the country. But they're doing so with a huge emphasis on the environment.
It all began when cousins Simon and Jeff Grier started Villiera wine estate outside Stellenbosch. While Jeff is responsible for creating award-winning bubblies, Simon carefully tends to the needs of the 30-year-old vineyards.
We're very geared towards sustainability. On the environmental side, there's a huge amount that we do. The first thing that we do is we measure our carbon footprint, not because we have to, but we use it as a measure of our waste. We produce solar power here, so on a sunny day like today, if we're not in harvest, we can produce all the daytime requirements off our roofs. We look at things in the vineyard like mulching, so the soils are covered with vegetable matter, which keep the vineyards cooler. We work with nature rather than against it. So 13 years ago, we stopped spraying insecticides. We don't fumigate the soils. So if we want to control snails, for example, we would use ducks. And the ducks also eat other insect pests. Then we look at our vineyard practices. We need to prune correctly so that the vines are more open, that we get more sunlight penetration. The more exposure that leaf has to the sun, the more food is produced, which is shown in growth and in the bunches or the berries that we're going to make wine out of.
Villeria's environmentally friendly approach has awarded them Biodiversity and Wine Initiative member status by WWF SA.
Martin, the BWI, or Biodiversity and Wine Initiative, what is it that you guys are all about? And also, what does it mean to be a member of the BWI?
The Biodiversity and Wine Initiative has been a flagship project within the South African wine industry. We've been working for close to 10 years with very passionate wine producers conserving outstanding places in the Cape Floral Kingdom. And it's really about conserving those areas which has been threatened historically in terms of biodiversity loss and how to restore these degraded environments. And at the same time, we work with individual wine producers guided by an environmental management plan and really looking after how to conserve and protect our river systems, our wetlands, looking at innovative practices around waste recycling, as well as educating and conservation outreach.
How would we know that a wine is under the BWI umbrella?
We identify the unique sugar bird on the protea, which you will see on the back label of the wine label. And that's how consumers would identify with the Biodiversity and Wine Initiative.
With such a passion for sustainability and conservation, it's not surprising why Woolworths selected Villiera to produce their range of Cap Classique wines as part of their good business journey.
Well, for us, it really made good business sense to align ourselves with Villiera Wine Estate because sustainability is one of our core values. And as you can see, they've been practicing it for a very long time. They've been promoting sustainable farming practices, and aligning ourselves with them was just a natural relationship.
The Woolworths range consists of 4 bubblies, one of which is sulfur dioxide-free, great for sulfite-sensitive customers.
Give us a brief overview of the range that you produce.
We supply a range of 4 Cap Classiques to Woolworths. And the first one is our non-vintage MCC or Méthode Cap Classique. That's the biggest seller. And then we have an MCC Rosé, which is elegantly pink and a growing category. And then we have a couple of specialty bubblies. The one is what we call Brut Natural. It's made naturally, so it comes from environmentally friendly vineyards. It's made without additives up to the stage of second fermentation in the bottle, and it's made without any preservative. And you know, in winemaking we use sulfur as a preservative, SO2. We actually find that it's possible to make wine without sulfur if you're careful. So the one thing is you have to make sure you're working with healthy grapes, and the other thing is that you have to make sure that you take care to prevent oxidation during the process. Over and above those 3 bubblies, we make what we call a vintage reserve. It's the sort of flagship bubbly, and it's a wine that we sell 5 years old. It spends most of that time on the yeast, getting much richer flavors, more intensity of flavor. It's November, almost Christmas, New Year, and it's a time of year that people really look at buying bubblies.
Well, Jeff, one thing for sure, I can't think of a better way than welcoming in the new year and also Christmas with a good quality wine, also made, of course, with the future in mind.